What's going on, folks? My name is Steve. This is Race Day, and we are here finally for the Season 8 opener here from Talladega for the ASRA Harpoon Design Cup Series. Man, it's been a long off-season. Our first broadcast back for 2025, and man, we are excited to get going here. Season opener right now for the Duels at Dega. The Dega Duels going on right now, qualifying just about to begin. Actually, might be happening right now. So we'll go down trackside here. We're going to get things started pretty quick. Not going to waste a lot of time in this duel event. Man, cannot wait to get this thing fired up. Right now, 2-lap qualifying to get us ready. That's all it is. We'll see these guys cheese these first couple of laps, most likely. A couple of guys don't. Nick Silver already on a flying lap right here. Max Brady going through it. Villalobos. We have a lot of cars to show you, folks. 35 plus drivers expected tonight. Man, really happy to see and get this thing going. Happy to have you folks here on the YouTube channel. Welcome back. I know it's been a long time since we've been live, obviously, but got through the holidays and did our thing, and we are back and ready to roll. I am super excited to do this. A lot of fun things planned this season. A lot of good names. I'll tell you what. If you thought last season was competitive, we added even more names to the roster that I think can really be just a great competitive season. I really do. So as they hit the board, this is the duel format, keep in mind. So as these drivers go around and get their fast lap, this is what matters the most. Get that fast lap. After qualifying is over, the top 2 drivers will be locked in. Next week's Harpoon Design 250 at Talladega, our season opener. The top 2 front row drivers will be locked into their spots. They'll still drive in tonight's duels just for funsies and going for the prize, the Wicked Cushions. I'll tell you what, we'll talk more about Wicked Cushions today, but they are offering up some prizes today. Good people. Daryl Young on top of the board right now with the 53.50. Good stuff so far. But again, the front 2 will be locked in. The duels coming up in just a little while. The odd number drivers after qualifying will be starting in Duel 1. Duel 2 will be the even number drivers. So first, third, fifth, etc. All those guys in qualifying will start in the first duel. There'll be 40 laps each. Cautions are normal. No stages or whatnot. Just a straight 40 laps. And off they go. Finishing order of each duel will determine each row. So Duel 1 will determine the inside row for next week's race, and then Duel 2 will determine the outside row. Pretty standard stuff if you've watched the real thing, right? Daytona 500. Right now we're just doing it at Dega. Something different. James Kaufman, new paint scheme this season. Looking good. Normally we've seen that red and white car, but a little gold mixed up in there. Looking good. Max Brady up to P3 right now. Villalobos 0.2 and 2,000 of a second off of him right there. Fetter Place on track, I believe. We just saw him. Where'd he go? There he is. Good stuff all around. Brandon Bowie. Lots of drivers. Currently 12th place. Matthew Fleming in 13th. Austin Salyers in P14. We almost did the qualifying for this tonight. You know, single car, solo. We watch everyone do their lap, and then off they go, but it would take too much time. But I've always liked the idea, just because you get to showcase every car, talk about every driver. It's good stuff. So qualifying is over. Just like that, Daryl Young will be the pole sitter for next week's Harpoon Design 250 at Talladega. Good stuff right there. And you are watching the Duels at Dega live here on Race Day. Exciting stuff in a great night. And right now, folks, we're going to get down to duel number 1. This is going to be a fast night. Fast, kind of like boom, boom, boom. Not going to waste any time. No bathroom breaks unless, well, I guess right now, if you're in Duel 2, you have to wait a little while to get this underway. But it's all good. Duel number 1 about to hit your screens. Very happy for this, folks. Again, big thanks to you guys for being here again, supporting the channel, supporting everything we're about, everything we do. Awesome stuff. We have a lot of sponsors to talk about, a lot of cool people, a lot of new drivers to bring in too, and talk about them and what they bring to the table. So we're going to get to all that during the race. Today's one of those days where it's kind of an icebreaker for all of us, right? We're kind of, getting at all the bugs, all the tweaks, maybe some broadcast technical issues, maybe some on-track technical issues. It's all good. We're going to work it out before next week's race, and just happy to have you along. So let's take a look real quick at the grid. As we do, let's bring in our super special grid music. Fire it up, producer. Oh yeah, there we go, baby. All right, the starting grid right now for duel number 1. Let's get it going here. There he is, Daryl Young, the pole sitter for today's duel, but also for next week. Unlike the real world, hey, if you crash your car tonight, you still get to have that pole for next week. So Daryl Young is the pole sitter. Adam Garza starting in P2, another new driver. A lot of promise in the number 8 Cardano machine. Watch out for him. Brandon 6, you know how deadly this man can be. Starting in P3. Michael Johnson, there he is. William Robbins, another new driver for Flagship Motorsports, looking great. Devin Smecker, I'll tell you what, DripDrops.io, they brought an absolute banger of a paint scheme this season. I love it. Brandon Bowie, a lot of Bowie drivers in this duel, so watch out for them to get to the front. Austin Salyers, there he is. Landon Bednarz, another new driver, happy to have him. Frankie Barroso, Nick Silver, man, I'll tell you what, Bowie Esports dominant duel number 1. Tim Robb, man, fire new paint scheme. I love that. This dude always brings the good ones. Happy to see him here. Jacob Weist, his teammate. That's good stuff. Mark Whitley, 2-time champion. Can't forget about him. Ryan Sharp, another new driver. Premier Racing Setups, folks. Man, go and check them out. They are going to be providing all of the setups this season, including tonight. James Kaufman, and then James Thurston, new driver on the roster this season. You'll know him from Long Beach last year, where he won it, a one and done race. Got the job done there. So he is 1 for 1, kind of our SVG for ASRA. But hey, this season he's full time. We'll see what he can provide for sure. But 18 drivers, green flag about to hit the track, and just like that, folks, the Harpoon Design Cup Series season number 8 about to be underway here. 40 laps for duel number 1 to set the inside row for the Harpoon Design Cup Series. 250 around that tri-oval Geico restart zone, and the green flag is out here for duel number 1. We're not going to waste any time. 1 lap already down here for duel number 1. And that right there was Bring the Noise, brought to you by Harpoon Design, the premier sponsor on the title of the series. And man, right now we're already getting going here. This is a great icebreaker. I called it earlier in our pre-race kind of walkthrough of the race, right? A great icebreaker. It's not just a boom, immediate first race of the season. This is a a race, right? You're still going for, you know, a win, right? An early W. But it's also just a good way to kind of practice racing around these guys, new drivers, you know, unfamiliar talent, in a place where, man, next week can really pay off that experience. So the setup they have today is the same setup they'll have next week. So this is basically just a gigantic practice session for the big show. Right now we're seeing Adam Garza being pushed here by Daryl Young. And again, Daryl's got nothing to worry about here. He's got that pole for the race. So far, great stuff right now. Coming around to lap 4 here pretty soon. Talk real quick about our sponsors today, folks. This is sponsored by Wicked Cushions. Wicked Cushions is a fantastic company that does cushions for your headset. So like, you know, Turtle Beach or Logitech or, you know, whatnot. They basically replace the standard cushion that you have on your headset. But man, the fabric they use is so good. The gel insoles really keeps your ears cool. It's amazing. They're so good. I have a pair right now on, and man, like after 3 or 4 hours, you know, racing or gaming, whatever it is, I just do not get sweat around my ears. They are fantastic. So the winners of each duel here will get a pair for their headset of choice. Again, all thanks to Wicked Cushions. So awesome stuff. As we see Adam Garza still in P1 right here. Again, a new Murphy Esport driver in that top spot. I expect to see a lot of good things, honestly, from Adam Garza in the number 8 machine. New driver, big talent. And Talladega, man, this place can just prove to be daunting. And again, there's no fast repairs here today too, right? So there's no fast repairs, there's no new car, right? If you wreck, if you kill that car, it's killed. That's it. Same thing for the entire season. So you got to be really careful to not ruin that chance, right? As we're starting to see the inside row kind of work. I believe it's being led by... who is that? Where is he? Tim Robb? No, I'm sorry. Garza. Now, just jump down low. Ooh, a little tight here. Got to watch out for that yellow lane, that strip on the bottom of the apron. And so far, impressive stuff. You can tell, and this is a good time too, right? The duels. It's just a great time to kind of make friends, right? I mean, right now we see Bowie Esports. A lot of their drivers are in this heat, or this duel, excuse me, but it's a good time to kind of work out, you know, partnerships maybe with certain drivers. But let's take a look real quick, actually. Devin Smecker. Ooh, getting a little toasty right there in the back of the pack, but let's real quick ride on board if we can. One thing we love to do. Here he is. Devin Smecker. We're going to go Hosky Hot Lap right here on board Devin Smecker. Right now, about mid-pack right here, about 11th place. And you can just see the intensity right here, right? Low line's working. High line right here is working. Maybe a third line here. You can't really tell. Everyone's kind of just jockeying around, trying to figure out how to get to the front of this pack, right? Devin Smecker doing a fantastic job right here on the outside lane. Can't quite tell if he has help right now, but man, he is doing a good job right there. Now the middle line becomes the high line. It can change that quick as the inside lane right there being led by Tim Robb. RPMs really high. Man, so good. Smooth on the wheel too, which is definitely helpful. DripDrops.io on the paint scheme. Tell you what, if we had a paint scheme contest, I've got a feeling he might be top of the list. But looking good right here. Lap number 7. So far, very impressive. Looking good early. Right now we're seeing a long line. Fuel shouldn't be a concern too. It's one thing I wanted to bring up. Typically 75% fuel in this race, but also in all the races this season. Here in particular, half of 50% fuel can typically get you about 20 laps. 75 should, in theory, give you about 30. So if we stay green, they'll definitely have to come down to pit. And I think a green flag pit stop is obviously going to be huge, right? But here's the advantage that Duel 2 has, right? All the drivers waiting in the wings for Duel 2, they can kind of see how this plays out, right? Kind of get a feel for it. Fuel mileage, but also just kind of, vibe, right? Racing around each other, how the draft is working, how the side draft can maybe affect your lane, all things like that, right? That all matters, and everyone's watching that who's in Duel 2. So right now, though, good stuff. Adam Garza still leading right here. Daryl Young right there in P2 up to the front. A good shot right here. On board Daryl Young. This is the gyro cam, so if you're new to, oh man, big shot right there. Tell you what, Daryl Young, I've raced with him before in A classes and draft masters and whatnot, different leagues, and he is one of the best pushers on the surface. He can really push you, but also make you feel comfortable while you're doing it. And the nice thing about this new package too that they released for the Cup Cars drafting, man, last couple of weeks, you can really push somebody in the corners, and it feels pretty good, I would say, overall. But man, right now, looking pretty solid for Daryl Young. But this gyro cam, it just shows the banking, right? The car tilts, but the camera doesn't. And right there, you can really see it. Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff right there, so. Lap 10 all ready for Duel number 1. You can see, man, just the bump drafts they're getting. Really, really strong. And again, that's the thing about these Premier setups. They just hook them up so well. They can be really racy. Right now we're seeing guys single file because, well, maybe you want to save fuel. Maybe you want to just chill out. But this right here is what it's all about right now. Second pack right there being led by Tim Robb, doing a great job. Has Mark Whitley right behind him, pushing him. Inside lane can work. But you have to have a couple of guys who really, really can just push. Going to be aggressive too. But also not a bad spot to just kind of sit back, right? And avoid that wreck. Only 18 cars in this first duel, but the big one can still happen. So far though, everyone on their tippy toes. Again, a great icebreaker. Kind of figure out who's who can you trust, who can you push. This is all information they can use next week, right? At Talladega with the season opener. So far, great. Frankie Barroso right there in the 48 machine, back again. Looking pretty good. Let's talk about some new drivers we see in Duel number 1. Adam Garza, obviously we know about. We've talked about him a couple times already. Looking very good in the number 8 machine, Cardano. We're familiar with Cardano. Great people over there. Shout out to you guys over on X right now. I'm sure you're having an X space talking about it and everything, the stream. So shout out to you guys. But Adam Garza going to be full of promise right there. Brendan Fetterplace, BP as you know him, was here with us a couple seasons ago, but came back looking pretty good and as strong as ever. I'll tell you what, I race with him on a Sunday night league nowadays, and he's definitely one to compete with. So I expect to see him in Winter Circle quite a few times. James Thurston, we talked about him briefly earlier in the pre-race, but James Thurston is a driver who, man, he's just crazy fast, especially road courses. We saw him last year sub in for a one-time deal for Long Beach, I believe it was, and won the race. So this man knows what he is doing up against some of ASRA's best. It's good to see. Other new drivers real quick. Ryan Sharp. Here he is. Number 79 Premier Setup Shot Machine. Looking pretty sharp. No pun intended. Actually, I might have meant it. But good stuff right there. Hanging back right now. Currently in 15th. So long way to go still in this race. William Robbins, another one for Flagship Motorsports. One of their buddies. Looking pretty good, man. That paint scheme is clean. That chrome red. Some silver. Love that look. So a lot to expect from him. Also, Landon Bednards, excuse me. Wise Owl Wash. I understand that's a new sponsor for them this season and in that group, so happy to see them on board here. So good stuff right now all over the track. A lot of these drivers we're familiar with, obviously, from seasons past, but we want to show off the new guys because, hey, it's their first time here and give them that ever so sweet TV time. But happy to have you folks here as well, too, in the stream supporting us. Hit that like button, subscribe button, man. Hit all the buttons. I always like to say, they all help. Daryl Young right here, again, the pole sitter, up front, doing great. Brandon 6, we've seen him up front too. Some of the league's best right here. Bunch of new paint schemes too, I'm noticing from last season. It's kind of throwing me off a bit. Brandon 6, I've known him to be in one paint scheme his whole life, I feel like. But that new one right there is pretty killer, as well as most of these paint schemes. I'll tell you what, I'll say it every single time, we're probably the best looking league on iRacing. I'll tell you what, these paint schemes done by Harpoon Design, killer. As the outside lane kind of got shuffled right there, Garza looks like he went to go block, but got a little bit too close maybe. That can be what it is, right? Sometimes you just have to make a block. 25 laps to go. We're all pushing, shoving, trying to get to the front. Up high, kind of on a place here. These guys are really, really pushing hard. That 4 stack right there, doing a great job. Again, Daryl Young pushing Adam Garza. And this is kind of a lock for Daryl, right? He doesn't necessarily have to win this race, but that's the nice thing. Maybe you push somebody to the front. Maybe you kind of learn who you can work with, right? Garza, world-class driver, makes that bold move down there with Daryl. Ooh, gonna get shuffled out, though. Man, Garza, aggressive. But I'll tell you what, you can tell when somebody is aggressive, but they know what they're doing. Let's go. Oh, not there. He was not clear. Spotter. Good stuff, though. Outside line really making it work here, too. This is interesting to see because, man, the draft package, especially here, pretty wild so far, but really, really good stuff. And look, you can see this. The top 3. You know, tandem drafting is kind of back. If you get like this, 2 or 3, 4 drivers really, really close together, you can make this happen. And losing the draft in this package is quite easy nowadays. And they are just flying right here. But Murphy Esport drivers looking good early. Daryl Young, now these guys, you'll see them get in a single line to catch back up to them. That's exactly what they're going to do. 22 laps to go, just about halfway here, almost. Before we get to halfway, I'm expecting these guys will have to fuel, or pit for fuel, about 12 laps from now, give or take. Some might pit early to get that jump, but we will see. Right now, though, good stuff. Back at the pack, quick update for these guys. Landon Bednards off the pace kind of a bit, lost the draft, it looks like. Jacob Wiest as well off the draft. Again, it's just so easy to lose that draft. You got to be careful. A couple of drivers were here actually coming down pit road. Actually, a lot of drivers, man, all coming down. Good stuff right here, everyone. About half the field, Brandon 6. Here he comes right here into his pit box. We expect only fuel right now. Don't expect tires at all. Fuel only should be the call. Everyone else as well does the same thing. Everyone off pit road. So now that puts everyone in the front of the pack on notice. What do they do? When do they come? Couple of guys coming for sure. About tops, what's this, 4, 5, 6 drivers still have not come yet. But if you see everybody else coming right now, I'm definitely coming too. They're going to have a bigger pack. And they'll be faster, right, in the long run. So 20 laps to go here. These drivers, I like the move. As Brandon Sick's going to get that lead right here. His teammate, Michael Johnson, going to get pushing him too. Nick Silver, not too far back, should catch them. It's just a matter... Oh, no! Frankie Barroso around! Just a bad bump right there. Some damage to the front of the car. Ooh, we can't save it. Does it keep going? He does. No caution's going to come out here. Man, that is not good. Just a bad bump, I think it was, from him. Ouch. Not good. But we carry on. The front 7, excuse me, actually have not come down pit road yet. Just a matter of time, obviously. They're going to need to come, though, all at the same time. You don't want to be stranded out there when everyone else comes. Not this time by, so still 19 laps to go, 18. Fuel-wise, they can still make it about another 8 laps, 9 laps. But right now, good stuff. Again, second pack right now is being led. Actually being led right there by the 16, actually, of Bednar. So he's actually not... Oh, excuse me, he is P7, so he's right there. They caught him. Bednars has not pitted just yet, but he was far enough back where they're going to use him to draft. So good stuff. That makes sense, actually. He has to pit still. Landon does. But this is a good way for them to kind of make it happen for now. So still, big packs, different strategies here. I kind of expected to see everyone pitting at the same time for the most part. But in this case, that is not what we're doing. So I like the move. Do something different. Caution can always come out. And if it does, that changes the game too. And as we always see, I mean, man, sometimes these duels, you can have a good one, and then the next one is pretty wild, right? So you never know if that'll happen or not. So far, clean and green, as we love to see. But Garza, Smecker, Thurston, Young, Whitley, and Robb, top 6, all right there. Good stuff so far. Checking up on the back of the field here. Again, these drivers, Brandon Six and Michael Johnson, right now they're tailing Bednars. Everyone bump drafting and whatnot. It seems like the bump drafting is pretty crazy tonight. So, might just be part of the package, obviously, but we expect them to, again, wrangle that in. A little bit further back, Nick Silver. Looks like he might be giving up a spot here for his teammate. Brandon Fetterplace, Bowie right behind him as well, team owner. A couple more as well, getting it locked down. So far, good stuff by these guys with 16 laps to go. So far, leaders are just about entering turn 1. 15 laps to go. Garza, Smecker, Thurston, Young, Whitley, and Robb. So when do they come down pit road? That's the question. The lead right now is about 35 seconds over the drivers behind them. But they have to pit, so I don't know, right? You can be fast right here. What has to happen is that these drivers have to be faster during these laps than the drivers behind them to make up that gap, because they're kind of making up that gap right on the back end before they pit. But they have a good line here. As long as they stay in line nice and tight together, they should be able to make up this, not make it up the gap, but maintain that gap so that when they come back out, right, they're good to go. But 14 laps, just like that. A couple of drivers down 1 lap. Frankie Barroso in the 48, James Kaufman 1 lap down. Austin Sires and then Jacob Wiest right now. He's in that main pack, actually, so which is going to help that front pack, but he is 1 lap down. It's all good. This is just to get the starting grid figured out for next week's Talladega race. But so far, so good. Duel number 1, 14 laps away from figuring this out. We're not going to have much time, folks, to talk to sponsors and thank them, so we're going to go race day side by side here, non-stop we call it. You'll still be able to watch the race, but we're going to get in some sponsorship opportunities real quick. We'll come right back.
Fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Doggy bowl empty, Lakers pool sleeping, rug pull, cash grab, NFTs delight, rug pull, cash grab, idiot.
Welcome back, folks, to the Dega Duels, duel number 1. And you saw it while we were in commercial break. Adam Garza and crew came down pit road. Everyone came out great. And then right behind him, Brandon 6, Michael Johnson, right behind them. They're trying to catch that pack right in front. They just switched so that now 6 can be behind him. And he'll have way better temps to catch and push much further. Can they catch right there? Doesn't seem like they're going to be able to do it. Nick Silver and crew right behind, trying to do the same thing with that bigger line of cars here. Still pretty far away. They can catch them, but they got to get in line now and really start pushing. Adam Garza, Whitley and Young and crew here, Smecker, Thurston, really nailed down that strategy. And so far making it work quite well. Looking good, though. High above Talladega Superspeedway, folks. 10 laps to go. Big time for these guys to try and get this thing done. Again, wicked cushions, giving away a pair to the winner. Definitely help them feel more comfortable in their headset, but also, too, hey, start the inside row up as high as you can. And in these races, that's probably a good thing to be right in the front, because you just never know when the big one will happen, right? And right here, the winner of this race will start in P3, right? So the winners, or the pole sitter, excuse me, Daryl Young, He's locked into first place. He won't move from there, but the winner of this race goes to third, but second in line of the inside row. So far so good. 9 laps to go. Brandon 6. Michael Johnson just don't seem like they're going to have enough to catch that front pack. On board Brandon 6 here. He's pushing so hard. Looking really, really good. But just might not be enough to get there. Still 9 laps to go. There's possibilities. It is so difficult to do. Looking good, though. Nick Silver, again, leading that secondary pack. A couple of guys have damage. BP, it looks like. Brandon Bowie, purple and blue car. Back there has some front-end damage, so a lot of stack-ups, obviously. A lot of beating and banging. And that can happen for sure, but these guys, again, this is just to start the grid, so maybe they're not too worried about it, right? The big show is next week. Right now, just a good time to get familiar. But Adam Garza, Whitley, looking to get that W early in the season. And I'll tell you what, a track like this, right? I think about Mark Whitley right now. You know, this is a track, or really a type of track that he's not a super fan of, right? And, man, to come out here, last season didn't go as well for him as he would have wanted, right? But, man, today, this could be a really, really good, fresh start of a season. To come out, maybe pull out this win, right? Get it done. Would be really cool to see that happen. Maybe it just might. He'll have to get around Adam Garza. This could be a statement for him too, right? Garza, come in, win your first duel, win the first race you're able to. A great look for him. Maybe for, you know, Devin Smecker, Michael Johnson, right? These guys are so good. Just got to get there. 7 laps to go now until Duel 2. We're not going to have time, I don't believe, to interview the winner of this race because the way iRacing has it set, man, Duel 2 starts right after this one ends. So we'll try and maybe sneak him in, but we will see. They don't even really give him enough time to do some burnouts. It's pretty cut and dry, so it's all good. Next week we'll have those interviews, most likely, just to give some context to their wins today. But 6 laps to go here. Garza, Whitley, Young, Smecker, Thurston. Your top 5. Johnson and 6 still trying to catch up to that front pack. So far, though, it has gone caution-free. Knock on wood. 34 laps into this race. Good to see right now. James Kaufman going one more lap down here. Bednar's, again, a lap down, but still trying to maybe help right here. Looks like Brendan 6 might have picked up James Kaufman here just to get one more guy and see if they can catch up. It's a smart move. Everyone else in the back, though, still kind of getting through it. And at this point, just logging laps to get a feel for it. These guys right here, not quite going to catch them. But it is all good. 5 laps to go. Without a caution coming out, this might be the 5 we're looking at right here to win duel number 1. Adam Garza led most of this race so far, but here's the thing. You don't want to be in P1 at the end of these races, right? That's the thing. Because you just know that Whitley, if it stays like this, right? Whitley's going to make a move at some point. It's just a matter of when. Probably white flag. If I had to guess coming out of turn 4, knowing this is Dega, probably out of turn 4. And the thing is, if Whitley goes outside or inside, wherever he goes, I can promise you his teammate of Daryl Young right behind him will follow. Whereas Devin Smecker, who's behind those two, is probably going to pick the same lane that Garza picks because they're teammates, right? So we might see some teammate-esque work here. It's just a matter of when the moves are made. I think the wild card here is going to be Thurston, right? He's in P5 right now. If we see the Murphy guys go one way and then Harpoon Design Racing go the other, Thurston might have the ability to pick that lane that he wants to go in, right? So who's he help? He could be the factor here to decide who wins this race. All the while, though, this crew, this 4-pack, 2 of them are lapped down, but they're still here. Can they catch him? They are catching ever so slightly. If they catch that pack, that'll definitely throw a wrench into what these guys are trying to do here. But good stuff. Take a look behind the back end of Thurston. You can see that 4-pack right there kind of creeping into the picture. Not really. They get close, I feel like, but then they just kind of fall back a bit. Very difficult to do. But they're making it happen. 2 laps to go here for duel number 1. There's the move right there. Look at this. 2 by 2. Who goes with who? This is what I expected to see. So Thurston, the wild card, decides to go with the Murphy drivers. White flag right here. Starch Industries, 1 to go. Here from duel number 1. And we saw it. Wow, look at that move. Daryl Young pushes Whitley to the front. A full house of drivers here. Oh no, big wreck right here. Oh, they moved it. Adam Garza gonna get spun around here. Whitley comes up. Heartbreak for Garza. Just a bad move. I'm not sure if they thought they were clear or not, but sometimes that can happen. Long way to go until that checkered flag. Whitley has damage. Smrecker has nobody. Who can get this checkered flag? Here it is. Mark Whitley will have enough to win duel number 1. Man, awesome stuff by Mark Whitley. Really not sure if Garza got into him or vice versa there. Definitely maybe a controversial finish of sorts, but that can happen for these races that I guess mean nothing, right, at the end of the day. But in a case like this, Mark Whitley is your winner for Duel 1. We'll talk to him a little shortly. Uh-oh, there's the technical issues right there. Little mess on the tower. Sorry about that. Those things can happen. But here we go. Just like that, we are back at it. Duel number 1 over. Duel 2 is now coming in very, very quickly. Just like that, 17 drivers going to be coming in. I wasn't kidding. It's going to be a fast night. There's no time to talk to the winners, just because the sessions move along so quick. But that can happen. Green flag racing the entire time there. That was pretty awesome to see. So, good duel number 1. Semi-controversial finish. But we love that. We love a good storyline. And that can happen. So, good stuff here. Duel number 2 about to begin. 40 more laps to decide the outside row. The duel winners, folks, we'll talk to before the race next week, just to get their thoughts on it. Just because, again, things happen pretty quick around here, especially during this night. So, good stuff. Let's talk about the starting grid here for duel number 2. Julio Villalobos is going to be starting off in P1. Hey, look at that V-Speed car. Our friends over in V-Speed, man, those are great people too. So hey, go and check them out. Subscribe to them. They are fantastic. Max Brady in P2 right there, 17. Car looking good. Jackson Anderson right there, P3. Blaze Crawford in third spot, or fourth spot, excuse me. Might have the wrong car on his car there, but we'll try and refresh the paint schemes later on. Trading paints can sometimes be a little funky, but it's all good. Joshua Sobel in the ASRA iRacing.com machine. Love that right there. Go and check out the website, folks. A lot of cool stuff over there. Andrew Phipps, Boo Esports on the hood. Loving that. Matthew Fleming, Kenny Reel, Joseph Mealy, looking good right there in that W3i software machine. Thomas Meeks back again. One of the OGs of ASRA. Good to see him. Austin Halsey. Hey, came in at the buzzer beater. Good to see him here. Happy he's here. Scott Gasorn. There he is. Will Doe. New driver today for HDR. Thomas George. Looking good. Steven Charik. Excuse me. It's Charik, I believe. I said that right. The Stint 62 car. The all-star car there for Murphy Esports. And then Albert Forster. New driver on the Sim 2. Not on the Sim, but on the league. Can't wait to get this thing going. Here we go. Duel number 2. About to kick off. And get it going. Coming down to the stripe. Green flag is out. And we are green for duel number 2 here for the Dega Duels. And right back at it, folks, for duel number 2. Max Brady is your leader right now. Kind of spread out right here for the top couple of drivers. Crawford in P2. Villalobos right there in third. Back of the pack, we're seeing some 2 wide action going already. Good stuff right here. Some shuffling, more or less. Just for the Blaze Crawford fans out there, I did try and refresh the paints, but it doesn't seem like it's wanting to let me, so do apologize for that. So you'll see him in a different car right now, but we'll get that corrected for next week for sure. Blaze Crawford, though, in P2. Looking pretty good. Single file right now. As we get it going. Good stuff. Early on here, lap number 3. And I talked about it, right? But, man, Duel 1 was nice and clean. Green flag the entire way. Little bit of a wreck, I guess you could say, at the end right there with Garza and Whitley, but green all the way. Sometimes these races can be completely different. So will we see a clean race right now, or will we see kind of a mess, right? The big one can happen anywhere. And we're already seeing drivers kind of losing the pack here. Joseph Mealy back a bit with Thomas George, Will Doe. Got to be careful. You can really lose the pack here quickly, and they're going to find out that very, very fast. A couple of guys here sitting in the back too, so you got to be careful to do that. Bunch of guys already going for it. A lot of flagship drivers in this one, right? So Last race was a lot, if not most, of Bowie Esports. In this one, we see most of Flagship. And historically, Flagship is very good on these super speedways, especially Brady and Brady and Crawford working together. We know how good they are. Good stuff right now. Let me see if I can give Trading Paints one more refresh. Might look awkward here for a second, folks, but let's try it. Just want to make sure all the sponsors on the cars and everything looks proper. I know it looks funky right now, so forgive me. But we want to make sure that everyone gets the proper paint scheme out there on track and everyone's happy. We love making sponsors happy. As right now, Kenny Real making a move right here on the high line. Couldn't quite get there just yet. Yeah, still, that Blaze Crawford machine still has that proper or improper paint scheme. So that can happen. Sometimes if a driver comes into the session with the wrong scheme, tries to back out and reload, a new one, doesn't always work, but that's good. That can happen. Getting pretty dicey up here. The front of the pack, Will Doe, making a great move right here to the front, not wasting any time. And again, I swear, everybody on Harpoon Design Racing Team, they know how to run these races, right? I feel like every team kind of has their niche, right? I think about Bowie Esports, I think road course racing, right? I think Harpoon Design, I think Super Speedway. So I feel like this is kind of where their comfort zone is, especially. One of these guys can absolutely win not only this duel, I guess actually sweep both duels, but win next week. We've already seen Harpoon Design. Daryl Young, team member, right? Running the pole. Mark Whitley, another team driver, winning duel 1, then Young the pole. So good stuff. Lap 7 already. Getting it going right now. Will Doe in the front. Watch out. Blaze Crawford up top there. Max Brady. These guys, I'll tell you what, they can be pretty deadly. These two, I feel like, work so well together. And you can see it right now. Brady just pushing Crawford all the way out. The tandem draft does work. If you get to a point where Brady actually off track right here. I'm not sure if he's taking the scenic route or picking up some marbles maybe. I don't know. I don't know if this is some kind of like strategy that works out well. Brady going to get kind of freight trained here. Didn't work out. Oh, Lordy. Will got a little bit tight right there. I think he thought he was clear, but he wasn't. And then, oh no, Kenny Real going to go around here maybe. Can they save it? No, he doesn't. Big bang into Villalobos. And the caution flag's out for the first time tonight. Both cars don't seem too terrible with damage. Yeah, maybe Kenny Real, some left front damage. Villalobos, maybe not too bad right there. Maybe some left front damage. We'll go back and take a look for sure. Yeah, really not too bad. All things considered. So let's go see. Let's go back and see if we can find out what happened here. Go race day replay, real fast. It happens way earlier, yeah. So we'll go back and take a look at that real fast. Things definitely happen quickly around here, so we will find it. Even further back. You guys, even last season, make fun of me. Steve, man, you take forever to find a replay. You're not kidding. Okay, here we go. This might explain it just a bit better. So with the 3 wide here, we're going to watch on board Kenny Real, actually. Kind of see what happens here. So he's out 3 wide right here. He kind of sneaks low or tries to. He definitely squeezes Blaze. He's not clear, right? He tries to kind of side draft, probably too aggressively. and just almost saves it there, maybe, but just wasn't going to be enough. So gets into Villalobos. I think that might have been it, actually, as far as who got involved. Everyone else scatters, does a great job. Yeah, definitely damage to Real. Not as bad for Villalobos. So these two should be decent to get going, but hey, a lot can happen in these races. But first caution of the day in duel number 2 for a wreck involving Kenny Real and Villalobos. Again, no fast repairs as well, so that's all they get. But here's the thing. Do you come down for fuel? We're 10 laps into this race. You might be right there at your fuel window. Very timely time. Timely time? What the hell am I even saying right now? But a timely scenario here. This could work out well for them. A bunch of these guys coming down pit road. I mean, really, the entire field should be coming down. And also, with all these yellow flag laps, they should get a pretty decent amount of fuel saving, as we're seeing the entire field. Oh, a couple of tires. Okay, Max Brady tire sets going on. Interesting. As well as Villalobos, some damage being fixed there, and Blaze Crawford might have a couple of fenders being wrinkled. That can happen. It is all good, man. I am pretty pumped to see how this thing finishes. We actually might have a special guest here pretty soon. Daryl Young actually might be wanting to stop by the studio here in just a minute. Talk about his duel and the pole and all kinds of fun stuff. We'll give him a second. Maybe see him stopping on by, and that's kind of the nice thing, right? I mean, hey, his duel was the first one, and now we can just kind of kick back and watch duel number 2. So not a bad deal. Again, while we have the time, folks, big thanks to you for watching, being a part of the stream. Going to be a great year for us. Race day, but also ASRA in general. A lot of fun. So cannot wait to get this thing going. The season looks very, very interesting. The schedule is pretty unique. Man, new playoff format. You know, we kind of went away from the win and you're in format. Now it's more like a, you know, kind of like a traditional point system like they used to do it. But we kind of mixed it in hybrid-wise with, you know, playoffs. So it's very unique. We'll talk about that more for sure next week at Dega. But very happy to see this thing getting going here. Should be getting a 1 to green here in just a second as we kick off duel number 2. About a quarter of the way through the race right now. Joseph Mealy, the leader. Looking pretty good. Snazzy new graphics on the tower there. Looking good. And again, folks, big shout out as well, while I have the time, to Whiplash Sim Cams. Man, these guys are absolutely killer. Amazing, amazing camera work. All new camera packs for the season for race day. And couldn't be happier to have them on board. So very, very happy. We'll be talking about them a lot this season. They have some great commercials too. We'll be playing for you folks. I think actually we'll wrap up the stream tonight with their amazing commercial to show it off to you guys and show off where you can find them. But man, Whiplash Sim Cams, tell you what, absolutely professional. And I'm pretty stoked to have them on board today. So looking good right now. Again, 12 laps. Going to go back green on lap 13. Here we go, though. Gonna go back green here with 13 laps down in duel number 2. Expect to see a lot of action again. Duel 1 was amazing. Duel 2, Getting pretty chaotic. Gonna go green right now. And then I think we'll bring in Daryl Young, the pole sitter for next week's race. Have him talk about a couple things, help me broadcast a bit and commentate. Why not, right? Something fun. We'll do it on the fly too. Joseph Mealy out front. Green flag is back out for duel number 2 here at Talladega. Right now, 13 laps into this race. Joseph Mealy outside lane trying to make a move right there. That stint 62. Steven Sharik. He's not going to be in this car often. This is a Murphy Esport All-Star car. Kind of think of it as like the Trackhouse thing, right? Like how they have somebody come in once in a while. Actually, RFK does that too once in a while. But that stint 62 will be making some appearances throughout the season. We have Steven Sharik right here. I know they have Corey Heim lined up for 3 races starting in Pocono, which is very exciting. So cool stuff coming for that car and this team. Look at this on the outside lane. Blaze Crawford Thomas. George, excuse me. On the high lane, everyone trying to get themselves to the front. I've got a feeling this duel, it's already started off high energy. Keep in mind, these guys have been sitting in their seats for 40 laps for Duel 1. They have wanted to get out here, so they're eager to make moves to get to the front and win this duel. I'm already getting flamed in the chat. That was a timely time. I'm done. I love it. Race number 1, and we're already cooked. P1, Steven Sharik. Look at this. Getting pushed by Blaze Crawford. Not for long, though. There he goes. Gonna go around Scott Gasorn. Good move right here by Scott Gasorn. I'll tell you what. He'll laugh at this, but once in a while, he impresses me. And this is one of those times. Leave Scott out to dry here. Good move, though. Scott goes down in front of that. Led that lap right there for Scott. So, hey. The boy still got it. Will Doe on the outside lane. So 2 by 2 all the way back right now as we're seeing it. So far, great stuff all around. Blaze Crawford leading. Max Brady in P2. Will Doe, and look at this. Jacob Emery in P4. Absolute killer hot rod in that number 20, man. I love it. Another Harpoon Design product, obviously. Repping it on the hood. Looking good right now. Look at this already. Just the power that draft has, the tandem. Those 4 drivers out front pretty easily right now. Scott Gasorn kind of in the back, kind of in no man's land. He'll get caught here by Steven Sharik in this back of the pack here, secondary pack. We'll see. But just like that, a second pack forms. Gasorn, unfortunately, going to be left out to dry. Kenny Reel and them might pick him up. But away they go. Good stuff right now. Joseph Mealy. Again, that W3i software machine. Let's do the thing we always love to do during these races. Here he is. Here's Mealy, excuse me. Right on board for a Hosky hot lap with Joseph Mealy. led some laps already. Right now, he's pushing his teammate Steven Sharik to the front. They've got a lot of cars behind them. This just comes down to pushing as hard as you can, re-catching that front of the pack, those 4 drivers. Careful of the oil temp, the water temp, obviously high RPMs, but look at this. You can see that gap shrinking up ahead, so they're going to catch them. And then when they do, they might make a move to go around. I wouldn't doubt if we see, you know, Crawford, Brady, maybe try and block this lane that comes. We'll find out here pretty quick as they come around. And they're about to catch up right now, just about almost halfway here in duel number 2. And they're there, right? They caught him. So they have the momentum to kind of go around Emery here. It doesn't seem like they will, so just one long train right here. Again, it also might be a fuel conservation race, right? Everyone pit 10 laps into this race with that first caution we had. But is that enough, right? That, I feel like, might be right on the brink of what they can do. So they might have to go single file here for a bit. Save some fuel. That can happen. Quick update on a few guys here. Kenny Reel in the back of the field right now with some damage from that that lap 10 caution, holding on to it. Albert Forster, Scott Casorn, Austin Halsey all in the back here. Everyone's still in that draft, just minus Kenny Reel, so doing what they can to maintain their time here. A couple of guys, we're seeing it, going to make a move here. Thomas Meeks, Jackson Anderson, not going to wait too much longer. And just like that, a second lane forms, and you can see how aggressively they're pushing. But Brady goes up against his teammate, and now we have 2 lines formed. Wildo really pushing. Blaze Crawford there, down low, looking pretty good there, but 20 laps to go, we're halfway. Lines are shuffling. Who can get this duel number 2 done? Tell you what, on my list of most improved drivers over the course of the last, I would say, couple of seasons, Thomas Meeks is definitely on that list. This man has gotten so much better, just overall, right, in the craft, in you know, racecraft, and just speed overall. Man, we have known Thomas Meeks now for almost 3 years, 8 seasons in ASRA, and this man's still here. Love to see that. So good to see for sure. Up front, Brady playing Pied Piper here, deciding which lane to choose. Just so far, awesome, awesome racing. Going back, we're now to single file for the most part. A couple of guys too. While it's kind of calm right now, let's talk about a couple of drivers here that are new, just like we did in Duel 1. So, starting in the front, yeah, Will Doe, there he is. Number 70 machine for HDR. New driver. Great on super speedways. And pretty good guy. I've talked to him quite a bit. And looking to see how he can do this season. Looking promising for sure. A couple of more guys here. Steven Sharik, we talked about him. That stint 62. We'll make a couple of rides this season, a couple of appearances in that car, so looking pretty good there. Definitely be a force to be reckoned with, I think, at times. It's good to see new faces and new names, so pretty cool. A couple more here in the back. Austin Halsey in the 82. Signed up for the season, this season actually, just a couple hours ago, so again, buzzer beater driver, but hey, love to see that. Excitement on race day to join is pretty cool. So at number 82, Looking forward to see how he can do this season. Albert Forster, simple car but effective, right? Baby blue. Not sure if that's like a UNC blue maybe, but looking really good. The number 61. Got to get that man a Harpoon Design paint scheme immediately. Get that boy over to harpoondesign.com. Get himself a killer paint scheme just like everybody else on the track. We'll get him going. We'll get him integrated for sure. Up front though, Thomas Meeks. Look at this. Being pushed by two really flagship motorsport teammates. We talked earlier about how Duel 1 was so Bowie Esport, full, right? This one is flagship all day. We have Meeks, Anderson, and Fleming. Brady and Blaze right there up in the high lane. They're also flagship drivers, so expect this to really turn into a flagship kind of a race right now. Will they work together? You can get all 5 of these boys into a line right here and really do some damage, but we'll see if that's the case. Will Doe's going to go up high too to follow them. There they go. Smart and effective move right there. So now flagship is all 5 in a row. Blaze going to go up high here to control the high line as well. Smart move. Blaze Crawford, for those of you who don't know, is a Coke Series driver now. The eNASCAR Coke Series on Tuesday nights. Very cool. Just got had to go through the road to pro and the whole thing. So Blaze Crawford's our resident Coke driver. Really happy for him. And does us proud for sure. So last couple of seasons he's been great. Won a couple races. Championship favorite every single race. So I'll tell you what though, that's going to change with this field. A lot of guys are so good. And you're starting to see it now. 15 laps to go. Up at the front, 2 wide all the way back. With Brady and Crawford leading the way. Little gap right here, but in front of Thomas Meeks. Has to kind of tighten that up a bit, but overall, not too bad. High above the track right now from the chopper view. You can really see kind of a nice way of, man, look at all these guys right here. It's like 2x2, right? It's rush hour traffic at 200 miles an hour. These guys really making a dent in this race right now. Villalobos on the outside lane trying to make a move here. No one's going to follow him just yet, but at some point you would think they will. 13 to go, and I'll tell you what, last race we saw kind of that fuel strategy, right? It wasn't really fuel strategy, but it was more like when do you come strategy. And people came down pit road at different times, definitely caused some stretched out racing. But right now, 13 laps to go, we kind of expect they can go the distance here on fuel. We had that one caution on lap 10 for the incident involving Kenny Reel and Villalobos, but right now, they can probably make it on fuel. So right now, it's just go, go, go. If we do get a green-white checkered, we do get 3 of them in these duels. So we will for sure see how it operates. Right now, though, great racing. I'll tell you what, I know it's half the field here and half the field in Duel 1, but if this is any indication of what we'll see next week, I am very, very excited. A couple of guys aren't here that signed up for the season, and that's totally fine. We have about 40 drivers signed up for Season 8. So, very cool. Very thrilled to get this thing going down. So, this race, again, determines the it determines the outside row for next week's Harpoon Design 250. A lot of good things coming right here, so... There's Josh Sobel right there, repping the ASRA iRacing.com car. Looking pretty sharp. That's the website for the league, folks. Go and check that out. It's got some point standings. It has the kind of everything you need. It's a great landing page. If you want to learn more or even join the Discord as a fan or as a spectator, you can jump onto that website, click on the Discord link, and whatnot. It's all there. Ooh, kind of a tough mess right here. What was that all about? Saw one guy, I believe it's Scott Kishore, maybe went 3 wide, but the hard way. He's okay now, looks like. Front of the pack also still shuffling. Andrew Phipps, I believe the lone Bowie Esport drivers right here. Phipps and George. Ooh, don't go up high, George. Didn't quite have it, but Andrew Phipps in the front of the pack right now, but outside line really has a lot of steam right here. We're getting down and dirty right now in Dega. 10 laps to go. Brady and Crawford looking inseparable right now. Will Doe, I feel like doing the smart thing. He's kind of been sticking with them. I think he realizes what they're doing, how good they are together. Stick with it, right? Not a bad move. Thomas Meeks, man, look at this pack. Really spread out right here. They can't figure out what they want to do. At this point, not a bad idea to maybe just get all in a line, kind of sort it back out. It looks like that might be the case here once Phipps and crew catch back up to the back end of Matthew Fleming. But so far, good stuff. 9 laps to go. We are flying right now through these duels. Ooh, big quick move right there. Meeks got around again. Teammates right here. Meeks, Anderson, and Fleming. They're going to go high. They've got the run. Decide to push Max Brady here. I feel like they're just toying with us right now, right? They're out there having fun, pushing each other. It's good to see, though, this package and really the setup, too. I feel like this is a good thing to see. I feel like these guys seem really comfortable, you know, moving up high, moving down low, right? The car has to feel planted for people to do that. And that's a good thing, right? That tells me the setup is locked in and these guys feel comfortable being really agile in their movement about choosing lanes. So that's a shout out to Premier Setup Shop for sure. Absolutely. Jackson Anderson, last year's season opener winner at Daytona. We've had Daytona as the season opener for the last 7 seasons, except this one. Starting it off at Dega, just something different, right? Changed up a bit, keep things fresh. A couple of guys back here, though. 2 lanes are still formed as we see it. Little bobble here. Got to be careful. Side draft is important to try and get around that inside lane, but right now, just wasn't enough. Impressive stuff. Inside lane again. Flagship controlling both lanes. We're seeing Crawford and Brady up top, and then Meeks and Fleming down low. Anderson's right there too. So really, the top 5 all there. Meeks tried to side draft, I think, there up against Will Doe. That doesn't quite work as well as you'd think it does, and that's going to cause Halsey to get around Fleming here. Make it happen just like that. 6 laps to go. We are getting down to it, folks. Fuel does not seem to be a concern. And look at this. Who can win duel number 2? Score themselves a brand new set of wicked cushions. Tell you what, I'm not kidding when I say they are awesome. Go and check those puppies out. Blaze Crawford, though, leading the field. Brady and then Will Doe doing their thing, kind of getting spread out a bit. Jackson Anderson not too far back either, but you don't want to be too far out like that. because right now he's far enough away to not catch the front three with the draft, but also slow enough where that pack behind him is going to blow past him. So this is not good news for Anderson. Unless Thomas George here and company share some grace and show some grace to stick behind him. Looks like they will do that. Oh, maybe not. Thomas George does. Gives a push. Here comes George again, not wasting any time. Ooh, man! No one giving an inch right there. Thomas George just found his way through that hole. If not making one himself. Good stuff right there for Thomas George. Taking no prisoners, but now we're 3 wide. George goes up high to block the high lane with Fleming. A lot of drivers right now not with their teammates. Kind of a mixed bag right now. We are 3 wide here with 4 laps to go in duel number 2 at Talladega. Who can hold on to it? Can these guys sustain 3 wide for the next 4 laps? 3 laps at the line. Oh no! Hold on to her. Wildo, Thomas Meeks getting shuffled here. They all hold on to it 4 wide for a second. Hold on to your butts. Samuel L. Jackson in Jurassic Park, man, I'll tell you what. That right there was a clincher. Brady and Crawford up front, sharing that tandem. Can they maintain that? I don't know that they can. George and Meeks right here in P3 and 4 doing the same thing. I'm not sure why Blaze breaks that right there. Probably to save some air temps. But man, it's going to kill their run. Bang! George hits the back. George looking aggressive right now. Really side drafting aggressively. But watch out for this second pack. Anderson and Sobel on the outside lane. They're going to have a huge run here. Will Doe just creams the back end of Thomas George. And they are getting back to it. 2 laps to go here for duel number 2. Who goes with who? Unbelievable race right now. At the front of the pack. Thomas Meeks makes it happen. Anderson to the front as well. Joshua Sobel. Pushing is one thing, but controlling the push is another. Who can control being pushed the best? As right now, through the tri-oval, if we get that white flag, no caution will end this race. And there it is, the Starch Industries, 1 to go for duel number 2. Who can get the race win? Who can win themselves a pair of wicked cushions? Oh no, Thomas George down below the apron and saves it. Max Brady, Blaze Crawford up high. Inside lane does not have the momentum just yet. Who can get it done? Brady, Crawford, Sobel up at the front. Who's going to make the move? Will Blaze be pushing his teammate to the win? Or will Sobel get a run here? 3 wide in the back as well. Tandem it is. I don't think it'll be enough. Who will get the win? Brady or Crawford? It's going to be Brady at the line for duel number 2. Unbelievable finish here for duel number 2. Max Brady, uh-oh. No love lost potentially between a couple of drivers, but either way, Max Brady gets the job done in that 17. New season, new number. Number 17 right there. Man, looking really, really good. Max Brady gets the job done for duel number 2. Unbelievable job here, folks. And that right there will be it. Awesome, awesome stuff. Very, very happy how these races ended up. That's going to be it, folks, for us. Again, nice and quick. Unfortunately, these things can end quickly. And with the format and whatnot, that is how it ends. Unbelievable job. Again, huge thanks to everyone who shows up today and also who makes this thing go around, right? So next week, folks, Harpoon Design, 250 back here at Talladega. These duels just determined the inside and outside row for next week. So watch our social media. Watch us on X at ASRA iRacing. We'll post an image or a graphic of the starting grid for next week's race. And man, an awesome job. We'll talk to the duel winners next week. Mark Whitley and Max Brady. We'll talk to both of them pre-race. And then Daryl Young, your pole sitter. Awesome job. Him and Julio Villalobos locked into that front row. Man, very, very pumped to get this season going. Appreciate you folks. As always, we're going to get a quick word from our friends at Whiplash Simcams, for providing all of these awesome cameras and whatnot. Folks, we'll talk to you next week, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Be here. Have a good night. We love you.